Dear Ron, can robust privacy measures really drive true innovation?
Yes. Next question.
Next. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another Dear Ron. I'm here with Dear Ron.
Dear Ron, is that my name now?
I guess so. Cameron Ivy at Transcend here with Ron De Jesus. Ron, how you doing, man?
Cam, how are you?
Doing well. Good to have you back.
I know it's been a while, huh?
It has been a while, yeah. We had the one in person at IPP, so excited to dive into some new questions.
Let's do it.
All right, let's dive into the first
Oh,
one
wait,
here.
what are you drinking, actually?
Yeah, good call. I, as always, cold brew.
Something called protein lemonade. Have you ever heard of that?
No, but you had me at protein.
Yeah, it's actually not as bad as it sounds, but it's just high protein lemonade. But yeah, I just had a good workout, so I'm gonna drink this.
Well, cheers to that. Cheers to protein and to this next question. Dear Ron, can robust privacy measures really drive true innovation?
Yes. Next question.
Next.
No, Cam, that's a really good question. I am a huge proponent of chief privacy officers and other privacy leaders demonstrating their value above and beyond compliance, right? We definitely should have a seat at the executive table because we bring so much perspective. We're able to partner across all lines of the business. We're interacting daily with multiple counterparts and colleagues and functions. And so I think we have a really great sense of what's happening across the company, and we have a broad purview into the different risk areas and different ways that functions are using not just personal data, but data in general. So I think that, we have to start taking that knowledge and demonstrating to our executive teams that we understand the power and the value that personal data brings, and not just this person that raises their hand and says, hey, we shouldn't be doing that, but also saying things like maybe there's another way to navigate that kind of compliance roadblock, for example.
Mhm.
So yes, I definitely believe that privacy can be used to support innovation in all ways.
So, Ron, to that point, do you fear of ever really like stepping on anyone else's toes when dealing with this?
That's a great question. Obviously, we have a specific remit as chief privacy officers to focus on compliance with privacy laws and regulations and things to do with personal data. I'm never afraid of stepping on anyone's toes because I'm incredibly collaborative with my partners, with my CISOs, with my CMOs. I think having really good partners and building relationships with those functions really helps me get my job done better. So no, I think where I feel like I could provide value, that's where I raise a hand or step into the conversation. And yeah, it's always a learning experience. If you work with a partner that doesn't necessarily feel that they need your perspective or opinion, you'll learn that through the relationship. So for me personally, no, Cam, I'm never afraid of stepping on anyone's toes because you live and you learn.
Love that, because it shows a couple things. It shows confidence in what you know and what you could bring to value, but it's also good for others as a CPO or others that work with the privacy teams to hear that perspective. So appreciate that.
Yeah. And here's an example, Cam. Product teams are always really, really gung ho about their products and their features and their projects. And sometimes the questions that I get from them are, at least, obviously from a privacy perspective, they're like, yeah, we could develop this feature that's going to use sensitive data and it's going to be great. We should just go forth with it. But having that outside perspective is always going to be a great thing for them to consider. Right.
Yeah.
So again, going back to your stepping toes questions, step on those toes and you learn from that. Right. So
yeah.
Anyway,
great advice.
Yeah.
Make sure you step on those toes.
Step on them toes.
Step on them toes, and we'll drink to that.
Yes.